I think the waiting made it better. All right, my name is Alan Kruse. I just want to say thank you for being invited and nominated to speak today. Believe it or not, I watched, Steve mentioned Steve Jobs, and I had watched a Steve Jobs speech when he was giving a Stanford commencement speech many years ago. And it was since then, it was kind of like a bucket list thing for me to speak at a TED event. You know, TEDx or a full TED event, and so here I am, and so I appreciate it. So my speech is on embracing diversification. There we go. Showcasing Midwest ideals and being empowered by the impossible. For many people, the word diversity brings to mind like a cultural diversity, but today I'm going to have us talk more about diversity in regards to economic diversity, spurred on by the need to look for things like alternative energy and ways for us to kind of expand our horizons in terms of creating jobs, fitting into a world economy. We have been reminded of the risks of having all of our eggs into one basket too much, to where we have to broaden out. And so in regards to Nebraska, one of the things that is a perceived issue is this is exactly how I think the majority of America pictures Nebraska. Now, personally myself, I'm from a small town, not from here, obviously, but this seems like heaven to me. But to others that were, born and raised in a concrete jungle, this is like podunk. And so one of the big hurdles that we have for Nebraska and also for the Midwest as a whole is this perceived lack of diversification. Like, oh my God, you go to Nebraska and this is it. It's endless and endless rows of beautiful landscape and farms. Maybe the occasional bad smell because of the fertilizer. But other than that, this is it. And this is far from the case. But to get to this, agriculture is exactly what has cemented Nebraska and has led to a great level of stability over the last 144 years that it's been a state in this great union. And so, although we have to embrace diversification, we can do it without getting away from that which has got us to where we've been. We can do ag and other things, go above and beyond, but still be great at ag. Nebraska, for example, Nebraska has the largest rail yard in the world in Grand Island. It's home to many things such as manufacturing, insurance. Of course, you've got the Oracle sitting in Omaha, Warren Buffett with Berkshire Hathaway. We've got a lot of different things. And then don't let me forget to mention that Saturdays in the fall is Husker Nation, and they are an economy and a movement all in its own. So, there is a lot of stuff going on. Case in point, this is Omaha Skyline, and this definitely doesn't look like that. This just goes to show you that one of many different places throughout the state that we have a lot of stuff going on here, and we can do more. One of the things that I've been talking about with others in the university system here is the fact that we're now in the Big Ten, and we have nuclear power here in the state. It's something that we've embraced, the stuff that we do, but we don't have a nuclear power program at the university here. And so this is another way that we can diversify with things that we've already embraced. It's expanding upon that which we've already decided to enjoy or at least accept. Going into this, since I left my hometown of International Falls, Minnesota, I have been in the military, and I've been able to travel around the globe, and I've met a lot of different people. Going then into the online gaming media, I've met people from all walks of life, and you find out that although the world is a very big place, it's also a very small place. Case in point, I'm in the service. I'm on the USS Abraham Lincoln, about 500 miles west of Hawaii, and I'm walking down after eating my meal in the galley, aircraft carrier, 6,000 people, and all of a sudden a female walks by me, and I was like, wait, that's weird. So I turned around and I said, "Hey, Jordan," and all of a sudden she turns around. Had no idea. I ran into a girl that was dating my best friend from International Falls, and here we are meeting. She's part of the ship's company, and I'm part of the aviation community. So it is a very, very small world, and it's getting smaller by the fact that we are diversifying globally every day more and more. We're doing business with emerging nations such as China and Russia and India and Brazil. It's just not us in the United States anymore, and we have got to be able to expand upon that. The reason I think that we as Nebraskans should expand with what we have is the very ideals in which are bred into us, I think, at a very young age. These ideals are things such as hard work, a morality towards our neighbors, the ability for us to lend a helping hand when it's needed, regardless of if somebody's asked for us or not. This is a picture of an example. In 2009, Red River flooding. This is inside of the Fargodome. What you see is this little person walking inside of the Fargodome here is 400,000 sandbags. Now this isn't even all of them. Between Fargo and Moorhead, volunteers packed 6 million sandbags, all volunteer. People came from over 22 states without being asked. If you laid them end for end, that would form a solid line from New York to Phoenix, or completely encapsulate the Empire State Building. This is not something that you can teach people after they're already grown. This becomes ingrained in you from birth, from the people that you were raised by, your parents, your grandparents, your immediate family. This is done because people just genuinely care. And this is the kind of Midwest ideals that I have heard about globally all over the place. I hear from everybody that I meet, "Oh my God, you're from the Midwest. You guys are fantastic." And so that is the whole reason that we've started our company here. It's the reason that I've continued to stay and come back here after my time in the service. And it's something that we should bottle up and should be applauded and pushed to the rest of the country to emulate. The next part is embracing the impossible. And forgive me for reading the majority of this next part, because I absolutely love this part of the speech, and I love it because I wrote it. With help, I will say. This is a picture of the Hoover Dam in construction. Obviously, I'm saying that just in case you can't read the top. What is amazing about this is the fact that before this was started, the Colorado River ran unabated through here. And somebody decided that we need to be able to bottle this up and take care of it. So the construction of Hoover Dam was started in 1931, completed in 1936. That's 5 years, start to finish. Now, this is 700 plus feet tall, 1,200 feet wide at the top, 600 feet wide at the base. It holds the Colorado River at back. The reservoir behind it is over 500 feet deep, and it creates 4 terawatts of hydroelectric power every single year. 5 years. This cannot be done by one company. This is American exceptionalism at its best. This is because we're saying we need it done and we're going to do it. End of discussion, and it gets done. Why? Because a nation does this. Not a person, not a company, not a group, a nation. The United States built this. The American people built this. 5 years. This is astounding. Lastly, I'm going to say that with American exceptionalism being empowered by the impossible is we shouldn't limit ourselves because somebody says that it's too difficult or too hard, or it's been done before, or we can't do it better. American exceptionalism doesn't say that we are better than another country. It means that we simply are going to do it because we say that we can. And so I go to this. This is President John F. Kennedy in 1962 giving a speech to Rice College, convincing the nation that we needed to go to the moon.
This country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind them. This country was conquered by those who move forward, and so will space. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
Now, it's important to note that John F. Kennedy is not talking at this moment to just the people at Rice. He is talking to the entire nation. Because going to the moon in the 60s, from start to finish, nothing. We haven't even put a person in space yet. Going from nothing to man walking on the surface of the moon in under a decade, that isn't, again, done by NASA. NASA didn't do that. They were part of it. A nation did that. A nation got behind that. But let me repeat this. Because the challenge is one we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. For me, to some degree, is I almost wish I had an American flag to start waving around and start having you guys chant, USA, USA. Come on, I'm waiting. But it's the fact that we did it because we decided to as a nation. My own personal impossible dream is one that I talk about a lot with my friends, a lot with my family, and one that I will work my entire lifetime to achieve. It may sound crazy, but I want a moon base. Yes, a moon base. Just picture it. Behind a bubble, drinking a cappuccino in the morning, depending on the day, because it's not the same on this direction, is you may be even waiting for that Nebraska game to be starting on the satellite TV. The bottom line is, this is my impossible dream. But is it truly impossible? I don't think so. So reaching for the stars, putting a man on the moon, these things were once deemed impossible, but just like building the Hoover Dam or putting a man on the moon, we made the decision to do it, and the very act of trying is what fueled our efforts and ensured our success. I would ask Nebraska to join with me to light this torch once again, to seek answers within the vast areas of the unknown, to do not only what we know that we can, but something new that even though we think that we cannot, to be innovative and entrepreneurial, to make the impossible possible, to change the hearts and minds of the young and the old, and be empowered, again, simply by the very act of trying. Now, I just found this out last night before we came, is that speech by Kennedy was done and written by Ted Sorensen. Now, it seems kind of interesting, but Ted Sorensen was a Lincoln native. He graduated from Lincoln High School. He graduated with a bachelor's degree from UNL, and then also went to got a law degree from here at the University of Nebraska. Nebraska is at the heart of the Midwest. We do not quit. We do not give in. We work until the job is done. So what better place than Nebraska to light the torch of ingenuity, of exploration, of exceptionalism, wave it high, wave it proud. Instead of following a national movement, start one. Not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Thank you.